What is this?
Mhm. I'll talk to them
Right, what are we going on first, Ms. Hagan Lawrence?
I think we are ready. Ms. Sutter, if you'd help me out here.
Yeah.
Who is on Zoom?
We have Mr. Brian Keith Miller and Mr. Jordan Gwynn on Zoom.
So we are ready with everyone else.
Okay, those two are Miller and Gwynn.
We're currently in the courtroom here, ready to go on. We have David King ready to go. We have Taylor Smith ready to go.
It's fine, King.
Okay, very good.
I know why Mr. Miller's in.
Yes.
All right, so we're on the record in docket 2303-696. It's the City of Lansing versus David King. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Hagan Lawrence.
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy City Attorney Lisa Hagan Lawrence, appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
And Ms. Sutter.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter, on behalf of Mr. King, who's standing to my right.
And sir, you are David King, is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a pre-trial today. Ms. Sutter, Ms. Hagan Lawrence, how are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. I had a conversation with Ms. Sutter. At this point, we would like to ask for a 60-day adjournment. There's some additional discovery that they would like to request and obtain, notably the body camera footage. So 60 days would give us an opportunity to both turn that over and adequately review it.
Do you have no objection to the 60-day?
The city has
adjournment?
no objection to 60 days.
All right, so we'll get a new date for 60-day adjournment.
No GIS.
Oh, we still don't have any
Oh
GIS.
dear, okay.
Yeah, so usually we set it, let's get the schedule. Let me make sure you have a good notification. Is that Pond Drive apartment still a good notification? Okay, we're gonna send notice to that Pond Drive apartment. And I'm gonna put it in the register of actions for the file that we're setting it 60 days out, okay? Because we still have trouble scheduling because of technology. Because the movement of technology forward is not done yet, you know? So you'll get your new date in the mail.
Yeah, so they're gonna, so their system is on right now, these are scheduling, so I'll get an email to you. It'll be anything I email to you.
So 60-day adjourn, and the address was confirmed.
And then just confirm, Your Honor, notice will be sent to defense counsel, so we're aware of that hearing as well.
Yeah, you'll notice it will be sent to the city and to that 320 North Washington, your address.
Thank you.
And once it gets there, you should get it.
Yes.
That's it. All right. So Mr. King, will Mel notice it should be post 60 days per the agreement to the Pond Drive apartment address, okay? All right, anything else for the record? Docket 2303-696, Ms. Hagan Lawrence.
Not from the city.
Ms. Sutter.
Nothing further.
All right, Mr. King, you're all set. Thank you for your appearance today.
Yes, you're good to go. Thank you. We're next ready with Mr. Taylor Smith.
Taylor Smith.
Yes.
All right, so we're on the record in dockets 2303-779. That's the City of Lansing versus Taylor Smith. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Hagan Lawrence,
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy City Attorney Lisa Hagan Lawrence, appearing on behalf of the city of Lansing.
and Ms. Sutter.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lawrence Sutter, on behalf of Mr. Smith, who is standing to my right.
And sir, you are Taylor G. Smith?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Ms. Hagan Lawrence, how we proceed?
Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, we would be requesting 45 days for a second pretrial for some license suspension correction.
All right, so we'll adjourn for 45 days. I'm going to check to make sure that you have proper address for notice on this. Since we usually schedule it this time, but we'll send you a notice 45 days out. And is that Butler Boulevard address still good for you?
No.
Okay, let's get a new address to send that. Is that 2013 Aurelius Road address
Yeah,
good?
2613 Williams Road.
Okay. Let me make note of that. I've got that address. So the address, so that'll give you notice for the new date, okay? And you should get that per the request of council 45 days out.
Okay.
So that I didn't ask Ms. Hagan Lawrence, but I'm assuming Ms. Sutter, you have no objection to the adjournment. This is a stipulated adjournment for negotiations to continue.
That's correct.
Anything else for the record in docket 23037779, Ms. Hagan Lawrence?
Not from the city.
Okay, Ms. Sutter.
Nothing further.
All right, Mr. Smith, you should get notice at that Aurelius address. You're all set.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions or updates? Okay, give me a call. Thanks. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I was just looking at this.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah, it was gonna be 45 thing.
Fair.
Myers is here.
So
We're, oh yes, we're ready on Jemiah Myers.
Jeremiah Myers. All right, so we're on the record in docket 21L2 689741. Right, and then why do I have a file?
No, Your Honor, I think that's a different.
That's Miss
Yes.
Flowers. All right. So we're on the record in 2303-234. That's the city of Lansing versus Jemiah Myers. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Hagan Lawrence
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy City Attorney Lisa Hagan Lawrence, appearing on behalf of the city of Lansing.
and Ms. Sutter.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lawrence Sutter, on behalf of Ms. Myers, who's standing to my right.
And ma'am, you are Jemiah Myers, is that correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for pretrial in the matter. Ms. Hagan Lawrence, how we proceed?
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe we have a resolution in this case. The docket notes that the count one is disturbing the peace, but the complaint and warrant actually lists the count as loud noise under Lansing City Ordinance 654.13A. It's my understanding that the defendant agrees to plead guilty to that charge, and in turn, count two, hinder oppose, will be dismissed.
And the count one stays as the 90 days in jail under $500.
That's correct.
All right. Ms. Sutter, is that a fair and accurate statement of the plea agreement?
It is.
All right. All right. And Ms. Myers, that's your understanding. It's a plea to count one, dismiss count two, and the ultimate penalty for count one could be 90 days in jail and or $500 fines. Is that correct?
Correct.
Ms. Sutter, may I inquire of your client of their advice of Mr. Rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Myers, you understand you have the following trial rights, and I'm going to walk you through those, okay? You have the right to be tried by jury, to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. Have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, to have witnesses against you appear at trial, to question any witnesses brought against you. You, of course, are represented by Attorney Lauren Sutter, and she would be present to cross-examine any witnesses or contest any charges brought against you by the people of the state of Michigan or by the city of Lansing. You have the right to court. You have right to have the court order any witnesses appear in your defense, to remain silent during the trial, not to have that silence used against you, and to testify at trial if you choose to testify. Do you understand those rights, ma'am?
Yes.
If your plea is accepted, you'll give up the claim the plea was a result of any promises other than what's been stated on the plea agreement by the lawyers, or threats that it was not your choice to plead guilty. You'd also be giving up the right to appeal anything from trial because you won't be having a trial. You'll be pleading guilty instead. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
Is it your wish today and your intent to waive your jury trial rights and plead guilty to count one?
Yes.
Can I raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to bring your attention back to June 3rd, 2023 at 3120 Turner Street, Apartment A in the city of Lansing, Michigan. Were you present on June 3rd, 2023 in the city of Lansing at that Turner Street address?
Yes.
And this is a loud noise complaint, essentially.
Right.
So at that time you were there, did you make or continue or cause to be made any loud or unnecessary, unusual noise that disturbed some of the comfort or peace of others?
Yes.
Why don't you tell me what happened?
So, I mean, it was so long ago, I really don't remember, but basically I had a speaker. We were celebrating a birthday and it was pretty loud.
Okay, it was pretty loud.
I no longer have that speaker though, and the neighbor is no longer there. She moved.
All right, and it was bothered one particular person who went and called law enforcement. They came
Correct.
to for you to turn this down in some way.
Correct.
All right. Anything towards a factual basis, Ms. Hagan-Lawrence?
No, thank you.
Ms. Sutter?
Nothing.
All right. I find the plea to the to count one to be knowing, voluntarily, and accurately made. Ms. Hagan-Lawrence, did you have any information as to why or as to whether the court should proceed to immediate sentencing?
The city takes no position and would not object to immediate
Okay.
sentencing.
Ms. Sutter?
I would request it, Your Honor.
All right. So we're going to go to we're going to go to immediate sentencing. I'm not going to. So I'm going to count two would be dismissed as part of the plea agreement, that misdemeanor. Which is the hinder and oppose. I'm gonna for fines and costs. In order to make this neat, we'll do fine $100, cost $100, crime victims' rights fee of $75, and the state fee of $50. For a grand total of $325. As a part, does your client need some time to make that to the city of Lansing?
Yes, Your Honor. With a number that high, I would be asking for 60 days on her behalf.
Okay. So 60 days out, I think we can do that. Or come around there.
March.
March 22. We'll do March 25th at 4 o'clock to be paid to the city of Lansing. So you can set up your own installment payment, okay?
Okay.
Just you can come into the 6th floor, you can pay online, in person, or by phone, and you want to pay them $20 a week, as long as it's all paid by that March 4th date, okay?
Okay.
I'm sorry, that March 25th date, okay? That's important. So March 25th, you should be all set. Anything else for the record in docket 2303-234, Ms. Hagan-Lawrence?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutter?
Nothing further.
All right, you're all set, Ms. Myers. Thank you for your
Thank you.
briefs today.
That's just a schedule. We had a bump to time to accommodate.
All right.
So they should be the like.
Oh, that's good for me.
We are also ready on Mr. Storms and Mr. Gwynn.
Okay, let's go on Mr. Storms. Okay, so we're on the record in docket 1905019. That is the City of Lansing versus Travis Storms. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Hagan Lawrence.
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy City Attorney Lisa Hagan Lawrence, appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Ms. Sutter.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter, on behalf of Mr. Storms, who's standing to my right.
And sir, you are Travis Storms, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Ms. Hagan Lawrence, how are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, I believe we have a resolution in this case. I have offered to amend the furnishing false info charge to hinder oppose under City of Lansing Ordinance 602.02. It's my understanding that the defendant intends to accept that offer today.
Okay, and what's the ultimate penalty for a hinder oppose under 602.02?
90 days in jail and or $500 in fines.
And is that a correct statement, Ms. Sutter?
It is.
All right. So we're going to, so the agreement between the lawyers is to amend count 1 to hinder and oppose under the city code of 602.02 with a plea to that amended count. The ultimate penalty could be 90 days and or $500. Is that your understanding, Mr. Storms?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. May I inquire your client of this misdemeanor advice of rights, Ms. Sutter?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You understand you have the following trial rights, and I'll walk you through those trial rights today. You have the right to be tried by a jury, to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, to have witnesses against you appear at trial, to question any witnesses that are brought against you. You, of course, were represented by Attorney Lauren Sutter, and she would be present to cross-examine any witnesses or contest any charges brought against you. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses appear in your defense to remain silent during the trial, not to have that silence used against you, and to testify at trial if you choose to testify. Do you understand your misdemeanor jury trial rights in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you would please accept it to give up the claim the plea was a result of any promises other than what's been stated by the attorneys or threats that it was not your choice to plead guilty. You'd also give up the right to appeal anything at trial. So since you won't be having a trial, you'll be pleading guilty instead. Is it your intent and wish today to plead guilty and waive these jury trial rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'm gonna have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna bring your attention back to November 24th of 2019 at the offense location of 6200 South Pennsylvania, which is, I think that's a South Meyer.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Why don't you let me know in your own words? Were you there on November 24th, 2019 at the 6200 South Pennsylvania address in the city of Lansing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why don't you tell me what makes you guilty of hinder, oppose, or furnishing of false information, either one, on that date?
I was just scared and not in my right mind. I thought I'd be able to get away with it.
Okay, what did you do exactly?
I gave him my mother's maiden name instead
Okay.
of my last name.
So that's a factual basis for count 1. I think we can take that for count 2, right?
Absolutely. Your Honor.
Yeah, so, okay, so I find the factual basis for count 1 to be knowing, voluntarily, and accurately made. Does the city have any thoughts on immediate sentencing?
The city takes no position, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutter?
I would request it.
All right. So we'll go to immediate sentencing at this time on count 1, the hinder, oppose. I'll set, so no upfront jail as a part of the agreement. You're not going to be doing any jail time. There will be a $100 fine and a $100 cost associated with it. $75 crime victims' rights fee and a $50 state fee for a grand total of $325. Does your client need some time to make that payment?
Yes, Your Honor. I would make the same request of 60 days.
All right. So we'll set it for the March 29th date. 25th. We'll set it for that March 25th date. March 25th at 4 o'clock. Under the same guidelines as the previous person. You, as long as it's paid by that March 25th date, you're all set. You can set up your own, installment plan, pay it off as you go, or you pay it off that date, right, sir?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Anything else for the record at 1905019, Ms. Hagan Lawrence?
No, thank you.
Ms. Sutton?
Nothing further.
All right, you're all set.
Thank you.
The other one we were ready on.
Mr. Gwynn, Jordan Gwynn on Zoom
Gwynn.
is ready.
All right.
And then I'll just have a real brief chat with Mr. Miller.
Mr. Miller, okay.
And then Mr. Assam is here for his civil hearing.
All right. All right, Mr. Gwynn, we'll call your case. You can unmute.
You tap on your screen and find that microphone button. That should unmute you.
And Mr. Miller, we'll be with you in just a second. Mr. Gwynn, you should unmute yourself. There you go. All right. All right, so we're on the record in docket 22-03509. That's the City of Lansing versus Jordan Gwynn. Will the parties please introduce themselves to the record? Ms. Hagan Lawrence.
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy City Attorney Lisa Hagan Lawrence, appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Ms. Sutter.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Mr. Gwynn, who joins us via Zoom.
And sir, you are Jordan Gwynn, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and you can hear me all right, Mr. Gwynn?
Yes, sir. It's a little bit,
All right.
but I can hear.
Okay, good. This is the time set for a pretrial on this City of Lansing case. Ms. Hagan Lawrence, how are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. And speaking with the Public Defender's Office, I believe they are going to be requesting a bit more time in order to achieve compliance in this matter. The city would have no objection. I would defer to Ms. Sutter about how long she needs.
All right, Ms. Sutter.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Gwynn has come upon some rough times since his last hearing. He's lost his home since then. So he's trying to get back on his feet in order to gain compliance. So we would be requesting 45 days for him.
All right. So 45 days out, we'll adjourn. I don't have a date for you, Mr. Gwynn. So I want to make sure that you get notice sent to the correct address. Is that Pennsylvania Avenue, apartment 1, still a good address for you?
No, sir. I'm actually scheduled to move into my new home on the 1st of
Okay.
February. Right now, I'm essentially homeless. I just have my mother.
right. Is there an address you can give us that would be a good address for notification? Maybe your mom's address would be a good address?
750 Edgemont, apartment 12.
Say it again, sir.
750 Edgemont, apartment 12.
That's Lansing?
Yes, sir.
And what's the zip code there?
48917, if I'm not mistaken.
We can look that up. Okay, so I have Stedman 50 Edgemont, apartment 12, Lansing, Michigan, and tentative zip code of 48917.
48917 is correct, Your Honor.
That's right. All right, 48917. All right, so you'll get notice sent to that new address, to that address. So make sure you keep an eye out for notice from the City of Lansing. I will indicate for the Register of Actions that we're setting this, the attempt is to set this 45 days out and adjourn to reschedule for that notice date. Anything else for the record, Ms. Hagan Lawrence, on 22-03509?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutter.
Nothing further.
All right, so Mr. Gwynn, you're all set. Notice should be sent to that date, and then we'll see you about 45 days out.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
And then, Your Honor, I'm gonna hop on Zoom if I can be put into a breakout room with
With
Mr.
Mr. Miller?
Miller.
Sure.
And then I saw another, not the attorney here, but another woman pop up on Zoom. Did she have a name?
Ms. Kunkel's here on a civil matter, I bet.
Right, I think I saw another woman on Zoom. Was I mistaken?
Nobody else has video.
Okay, then I was.
That I can see.
Oh, maybe it's just two.
There is a,
Now somebody does, I don't know.
Oh, this individual, the Tino. Okay, so this shouldn't have a name.
let me identify her. Would the person on the Tino U616AT please identify yourself, ma'am? And you'll have to unmute. That's you in the white room, ma'am.
Not sure if it's me. Good morning. I'm Latoya, case against Edgewood Villas, well, Edge at 1010.
Okay. So ma'am, you're on a cell phone, right?
Correct.
And what's your name again?
Latoya Campbell.
Latoya Kindle. And what's the case number you're on?
I'm not sure it's against Edge at 1010. It's a tenant situation. This is Judge Flores.
And who's it against?
Latoya Campbell. Campbell.
I think that case is set. Is she on for tomorrow?
My best educated guess.
Not today, that's all I
Not
know.
today.
Yeah, I don't see you on today's docket, ma'am. I don't see a Kindle on today's docket.
Campbell. C as in Campbell's noodle soup. Campbell.
See?
It's not on the document.
Yeah, I don't have a Campbell on the docket at all.
Your Honor,
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Lum.
there were several, I think there were 3 Edgewood hearings that were originally supposed to be today. I don't know if they were potentially taken off the docket. Ms. Campbell is one of the Edgewood tenants.
Oh,
I don't have her.
yeah, I don't have, and Mr. Lum, I don't have you on the docket. What case are you here on?
So there was Ms. Campbell had a case, and then Susanna Torrado and Tanya Ridley were the 3 hearings that I had on my calendar.
Yeah, I don't have any of those files on the docket, Mr. Lum. So I don't have those
Okay.
files with me. I can double check as to when they've been reset for.
I can't check. So,
Oh, because we don't have
think they were-
GIS.
I think they were the second hearing for conditional dismissals.
Were they?
Yes.
Let me.
Let's see if we can grab those files.
Sorry.
Okay. And then make sure Miss Sutter's in with Mr. Miller. But we don't have those, for some reason, they're not on the docket.
Okay.
Let's give me 1 second and let's see if we don't have GIS.
just a way to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, here's the problem, Mr. Lum. Generally, we could look up and grab those files in our computer system, but we have no computer system because GIS is down.
Okay.
So in striving for progress, we don't have, I can't schedule anything. We can't give people notices, all of the above. So I can't find out why those 3 are not on the docket, but I don't have those 3 cases on the docket. So I would suggest that if you're here for any one of Mr. Lum's cases or Edgewood Holding, I would contact the civil department just to see when it's been rescheduled for. Because I don't have the file and I don't know how to get the file.
Okay.
I will tell you, I will tell you what I have. I have Al Alms case versus Ashley Heddens. I have 25 Lansing LLC versus James Harriman and Mandy Harriman. And I have Fox Land Holdings versus Prudence Muketzi and James Gilbert. Those are the cases I have on the docket.
Okay.
All right.
So we can just
I would contact the civil department to see when it's been rescheduled for.
okay.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sorry about that. Usually we can look it up, but we can't look it up right now.
No problem.
We can't
I'll
look
check it.
anything up right now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Lum. So on the cell phone, keep in contact. You should contact the court to find out when that's been reset for. Okay.
Okay. When I checked though, it says case closed, but I knew that I had date today, so I showed up anyway.
I would check just in case. Yeah, I would check just in case. So that's on the cell phone. On the 10OU6, ma'am, what is your name on the 10OU6?
Susanna Torrado.
Torrado. Yeah, that's a case, that's another case of Edgewood Holdings that's been rescheduled. I don't have it on my docket. You should contact the 54A Civil Department to find out when that's been set for.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You have a blessed day.
You too. Ms. Kunkel, what case are you here on?
Your Honor, I'm here on the Foxland Holdings.
All right, you're here on, and that's with Prudence Muketzi and James Gilbert, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let me see if I can call that case. What's that?
I think that's it.
It is a 10:15. Give me 10 minutes and then we can call that case, all right?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Allowance. Yeah. And if you would have just hear him say this on.
All right, so we're on the record in 23-03780. That is City of Lansing versus Brian Miller. Would the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Hagan Lawrence.
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy City Attorney Lisa Hagan Lawrence here on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Ms. Sutter.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Lauren Sutter on behalf of Brian Keith Miller, who joins us via Polycom.
And sir, you are Brian Miller, is that correct?
That's right.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a City of Lansing pretrial. Ms. Hagan Lawrence, how are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe we have a resolution in this matter. As a preliminary matter, I would note that there is a defect contained on the ticket in the sense that it does not contain an email address and a phone number. However, I have spoken with the public defender about that, and I believe that the defendant is agreeable to waiving that defect and getting to a resolution today.
Okay.
The offer is to amend the charge to allowing an unlicensed person to operate under MCL 257.326.
And that would be as to the file,
As to the ticket.
as to the
yes.
ticket.
Mhm.
So that would be the misdemeanor on the ticket is to amend to allowing an unlicensed I can't read that, so I better rewrite it. All right, and what are the penalties for allowing an unlicensed person to operate a vehicle?
90 and or 100.
90 and or 100. All right. So amend count part one of the ticket or count one of the ticket to allowing the unlicensed person to operate. And then as to count two, Ms. Hagan Lawrence.
I don't see a count two, Your Honor. I believe that if it was a civil infraction, it either was already paid or it may have defaulted.
Yeah, I have a default. I have the ticket,
Yeah.
but they made a different file, which I don't understand. All right,
Not sure about that either. We just,
Yeah.
yeah, we have the no ops single charge on the
because it says on the
3780.
ticket a balance is due.
If it defaulted, yes, he would still have
Yeah.
a balance too.
Let's get rid of that. That's the ticket. All right, so it is amend account 1 to allowing an unlicensed person to operate. And with a plea, and that'll be the plea to the amended count 1.
Yes.
All right. And Mr. Miller, you're in agreement with this. You're going to plead the amended count 1 of allowing a unlicensed driver to operate, which would amend the misdemeanor ticket. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. You have certain rights in this misdemeanor case. Ms. Sutter may inquire your client of their misdemeanor rights.
Yes.
You have the right to be tried by a jury, to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, to have witnesses against you appear at trial, to question the witnesses against you. You are today represented by attorney Lauren Sutter. She would be present to cross-examine any witnesses or contest any charges brought against you. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses appear in your defense, to remain silent during the trial, not to have that silence used against you, and to testify at trial if you choose to testify. If your plea is accepted, you give up the claim the plea was a result of any promises other than the stated plea agreement or threats that it was not your choice to plead guilty. You'd also be giving up the right to appeal anything from a trial. Since you won't be having a trial today, you'll be pleading guilty to allowing an unlicensed driver to operate a vehicle instead. Is it your intent today to waive your jury trial rights and to plead guilty to the amended count 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna bring your attention back to December 15th, 2023 at Kings Boulevard on Holmes Road. Were you present at that time on Kings Boulevard and Holmes Road on December 15th, 2023?
Yes, sir.
And did you at that time allow another person you knew to be unlicensed to operate a motor vehicle?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And sorry, Your Honor, just to make sure there's no defect in it, you allowed a person to drive a vehicle knowing they were not licensed.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
And that person was yourself.
Yeah, that person was himself.
Yes. Yes.
I just want to be careful of the word another.
Right, right. Anything towards a factual basis, Ms. Hagan-Lawrence?
No, thank you.
Ms. Sutter?
Nothing else.
Okay, I find the factual basis to be knowing, voluntarily, and accurately made concerning the unlicensed person. Do you have, is there any reason we shouldn't go to immediate sentencing? I'm somewhat familiar with Mr. Miller's background.
The city would have no objection.
Okay, Ms. Sutter?
It would seem the most prudent move forward, Your Honor.
Yeah. So this will be, it's a 90-day misdemeanor and or $100. I don't see a reason to have, so I'm going to waive fines and costs in this matter.
Thank you.
There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee and a $50 state fee. I'm going to administratively close both of those at $125. I know where Mr. Miller will be for the next 30 days or so. So we're going to administratively close those. So when you get out, Mr. Miller, you'll have you can start fresh, okay, sir? Yeah, you still have some money, so you should report to collections because you probably have a default file on the civil infraction.
Yes, you have matters outside of this case that you still have to make payments on, but this is not one the court's going to be pursuing.
Yeah, this case is all set. All right, sir. All right. Anything else for the record? 23-03780, Ms. Hagan-Lawrence.
No, thank you.
Ms. Sutter.
Nothing further. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Miller, you're all set. Thank you for your appearance today.
Thank you.
I'm just going to do a quick check and see if Flowers is involved.
Miss Flowers and
Yes, I don't
I don't know where Mr. Wood is. He's out in the.
At some point, Your Honor, I believe Ms. Hagan-Lawrence has another meeting to get to, so maybe we should just reset that here.
Yeah, I mean, you let me know because I mean we're running an hour and a half late on that.
I do have something I need to be at as soon as possible. I can always go, I'll be in my office, so if somebody wants to shoot me an email, if you were.
We
to
can
like,
shoot
pop
you an
back
email.
up.
If it's okay with the court at that point, if that is the case.
Or we can just reschedule in DOC.
That might
That might be the way to go on that.
And then we just have the flowers.
So if you
Yes.
check Flowers, we'll call Flowers and then we'll do what?
Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries. Yeah,
Yeah, MDOC.
that's, your guess is as good as mine on their schedule.
If they do wind up logging in, you have minutes to come back in, is it okay if I appear via Zoom for that? Since
Sure.
my office is a
Yeah.
little walk away. Thank you.
I think we're just gonna reset
Oh,
it.
it's walking here.
I know.
All right, so we're on the record in docket 21L26897441. That is the City of Lansing versus Trensario Flowers. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Hagan Lawrence
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy City Attorney Lisa Hagan Lawrence, appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
and Ms. Sutter.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Trensario Flowers. At this time, I do not believe they are present.
All right, this was scheduled for 9:30. It is now 10:26. Based on council's representations, Trensario Flowers has not been in the Zoom courtroom or anybody, at least to that moniker. There's nobody in the waiting room. So it appeared that the defendants failed to appear for the pretrial. How did you want to proceed, Ms. Hagan Lawrence?
Your Honor, at this point, the city would request a bench warrant bond forfeiture with a 48-hour hold. In the, I do see on the ticket if there is a civil infraction included. It's not on the docket. My guess is that it may have already defaulted, but if it has not, we would request a default on that civil infraction.
On
based
this,
the
on the careless
non-payment.
driving.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, a bench warrant and bond forfeiture with a 48-hour hold is, unless, Ms. Sutter, anything on this?
I would just request the 48-hour hold. This
Right.
is her first failure to appear. I don't technically represent on the civil infraction, so I don't believe I can make comment on that.
So I'll issue a bench warrant and bond forfeiture with a 48-hour hold, and then we'll default on the civil infraction. Anything else for the record? And ticket 21L26897441, Ms. Hagan Lawrence.
Your Honor.
Ms. Sutter.
Nothing further.
All right, thank you for your appearance today. We're all set. And then we've had some trouble getting Mr. Woods here. Mr. Wood here, we've got him on 20-01041. We have him on 20L256031, which is a civil infraction. Looks like a ticket.
That's not a civil infraction, Your
It's
Honor.
not?
It is a ticket, but it is a misdemeanor.
Okay. And then 21-02818. Here's the other one. Okay. That's what I was looking for. So we're on the record on all three of those files. It's my understanding that Mr. Wood, so appearances for the record, Ms. Hagan Lawrence
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy City Attorney Lisa Hagan Lawrence, appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
and Ms. Sutter.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Mr. Wood. He is not present, and if I could just be quickly noted on that.
Absolutely.
He is currently in the custody of MDOC. He's at Cotton Correctional in Jackson. They were tasked with the responsibility of having him appear over video for today's conference. At this point, we have not seen him. So I just suppose I'd like it noted that he is not appearing, not by his own fault.
Right. It's my understanding this was scheduled for 9 o'clock. It's now 10:30. We did receive a report from the correctional facility that they were having troubles and they were going to put him on video after 10. But because of other things scheduled, I think it's only wise to reschedule this for a time that fits the schedule of all the parties involved. We know Mr. Wood's going to be in Department of Corrections. We just a matter of getting him on the video. So we'll reschedule. This pretrial. And so he'll get notice through the Department of Corrections. You'll get notice through your office and you'll get notice through your office. We'll reschedule through the hearing and we'll just set it for another pretrial hearing. and then wait to have it that date. I would think it'd be rescheduled within the next 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, okay. All right, anything else for the record in 20-01041, 20L2560341, or 21-02818, Ms. Hagan Lawrence?
No, thank you.
All right, Ms. Sutter?
Nothing further.
All right, we're all set. We'll reschedule those 3. And we should be all set.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Hagan Lawrence. Thanks for covering today.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm gonna write some notes just so I know that he needs to be written out or placed on Polycom, which is why we rescheduled.
Yeah, he's there bare minimum through April. That's his next parole hearing.
Right.
But he's got 3.5 to 30 in, so.
So yeah, we're the least of his problems.
Yeah, I think he actually will get paroled in April.
Good.
It wasn't the seriousness of charges that got the 30, it was some tabs. So
Okay, all right,
It's actually pretty minor charges that on.
all right. Well, thank you for your appearance today.
Thanks, have a good day.
This is the field to display. Mr. Wood. And then Mr. Alam, you can come up here. Ashley. Wait, I don't have this one. I have 244. And I have 245. I don't have 6434.
That's what they had been for us.
All right. So have a seat. Let's make sure we grab your file. Do you need the that, you're in the right place. We just got to find the file.
Okay.
All right, so we'll go on the 10-15s. This is 23-03244. 25 Lansing LLC versus James Harriman and Mandy Harriman. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Mr. Lombardo.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jake Lombardo appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
And is there a James Harriman or a Mandy Harriman here? I do not see anybody from any one of those monikers. I will take note that this was set on January 10th, 2024. It was set for conditional dismissal to be paid by February 22nd. We set it for today's date, January 23rd at 10:15. Mr. Lombardo, how are we proceeding today?
Yes, Your Honor, a little bit of an issue there. There's two defendants. I believe they're married. Miss Harriman consented on the record to the terms of the conditional dismissal. Mr. Harriman disconnected halfway through the proceedings. So we followed up with them multiple times to try to either get his consent for my signature on the consent order or preferably his own signature, and simply have not heard back. So I didn't submit the consent order for conditional dismissal because it didn't provide complete relief without having the consent of the second defendant.
Right. All right. So that would mean that Mr. Harriman and Mr. Harriman, is he aware of today's date? He was served by our courts, or at least that sent to that Northland address. And then it looks like the subservice and personal service, subservice was Mr. Harriman. So he was here, and then he did receive notice from the court for this 1/23/2024 at that last known address. So are you requesting a default as to James Harriman?
I think that's probably appropriate, Your Honor, is let the consent orders stand with respect to Mrs. Harriman and then a default with respect to Mr. Harriman.
So default as to James Harriman. And then the consent judgment as to Mandy Harriman, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and you'll follow that up with the, you'll, I guess, e-file those orders to be signed by myself?
Yes, I will, Your Honor. With respect to the consent order for conditional dismissal, I think that's easy enough. With respect to the default, do you want that under a 7-day rule, or do you want me just to submit it as a proposed order?
You can submit it as a proposed order this time since we've had the second hearing.
Very good. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. All right, anything else for the record in 23-03244, Mr. Lombardo?
Nothing further. Thank you.
You should be all set. Thank you for your appearance today.
Thank you.
And then let's do Ms. Kunkel and then we'll pull that up. We have your file. It's in the e-universe someplace. So we're going to get it. Ms. Kunkel, we will call the case. So Fox Landing Holding LLC versus Prudence McKetsy and James Gilbert. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Kunkel.
Good morning, Your Honor. Rhonda Kunkel appearing on behalf of the plaintiff, Foxland Holdings LLC, and my client Spencer Fox is in attendance.
All right, thank you. And ma'am and sir, you are Prudence McKetsy and James Gilbert?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, and you can hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is the time set for a hearing on this matter. I have this, we met on January 10th. There was a conditional dismissal discussed. The plaintiff appeared and they were in contact with both tenants in this matter, Ms. McKetsy and Ms. Gilbert. Ms. Kunkel, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, I did make contact over the last 2 weeks with the parties, and we've agreed to the terms of a consent order for conditional dismissal. Those terms would be that they will pay $300 to be paid by no later than tomorrow, January 24th, 2024. An additional $300 per month in addition to their monthly rent to be paid starting February 1st, 2024 until the balance is paid in full. They currently owe rent of $1,966 with court costs of $217.52 for a total of $2,183.52.
All right. And then is that a fair statement, Mr. Gilbert and Miss Gilbert?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
All right. That's been, terms have been discussed. Ms. Kunkel, how did you intend to forward is that a consent judgment or conditional dismissal that they've agreed to?
The consent order for conditional dismissal.
Okay. All right. And how did you plan, did you need their authorization to sign a document to advance to the court, or did
Yes,
you want to have them review? All right. And have they signed it, or did you want authorization put on the record?
I would like authorization, please. I did email this to Miss Gilbert's email yesterday, and as far as I know, they were able to see the document.
Mr. Gilbert and Miss Gilbert, do you give authorization for Miss Kunkel to sign your name to the document so she can advance to the court?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. So the court will sign the conditional dismissal when filed. I will indicate, Mr. Gilbert and Miss Prudence, the Michigan court rule should be explained to you because you're not represented by counsel, that you have 3 days from this date today to indicate that somehow this was ambiguous to you. You've authorized this, you've signed it, you've authorized signature and sent it back, but I want to make sure that court rule is explained to you. All right, ma'am?
Okay, thank you.
All right, Mr. Gilbert?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so Ms. Kunkel, you'll e-file that with the court, and then we'll sign it. Anything else for the record in 23-03245, Ms. Kunkel?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Do you have any questions of me, Mr. Gilbert or Miss Gilbert?
No.
All right. Thank you. All right. That's all for the record and then file. Thank you, everybody, for your appearance. Mr. Fox, thank you for your appearance today.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. We're going to find your file now.